Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mornings with the Outlaw. I am the Outlaw, John Rocha, coming to you live from Los Angeles. It has not stopped raining all freaking week. All week, and the rain keeps coming and coming and coming, and we have to deal with it. I'm currently wearing a rain jacket version of a light jacket just in case it starts raining in here, for God's sakes. I don't know what's going to go on, but craziness abounds all around. I'm still figuring out the camera. I might put it back up on the tripod. I've been trying to use it off the actual MacBook Pro, but some people have said it's a bit shaky. It's a bit weird. So I'm just trying to figure that all out. Plus the scope of it doesn't get a little tighter with the lighting and everything like that. Speaking of which, you can barely see my face. Hold on, people. Hold on. How's that? Is that better? I think that's a little bit better. Well, I mean, having the hat on doesn't help. Of course, it gives me a natural shadow. Let me turn this one this way too a little bit. All right, there we go. Now you can see my face a little bit better. Well, and maybe I should take these off too. All right, now we're good to go. Well, welcome. Thank you so much. I had to shove down a little bit of breakfast before we started. Not going to lie, last night was a rough night of sleep. Slept like eight or 9 hours. And I usually don't sleep that long. Usually I'm a 5 or 6 hour man. So the fact that I slept 8 or 9 hours was driving me insane. So much. I woke up this morning. I was like, oh, just chilling out. Blah, blah, blah. So, you know, it's not the easiest situation to wake up to for me, especially climbing out of the bed, with a warm bed with my girlfriend. Not the easiest thing in the world to come out or step out of that. But I'm glad I did. I see so many y'all in here already. We're starting a little bit slow. Sorry about that. I mean, I posted it a little bit late, but so there's only like 30 y'all in here. So I appreciate it starting out. We'll see if we get up to 150 or 200 by the end of the show. But just want to say hi to everybody who is in here. MK Songbird, what's going down? Andrew G, morning, happy Easter weekend. Same to you. What's up, Manny Gonzalez? Hey there, everyone. Rick Samoris, man, I thought no Mornings with the Outlaw today. Good thing I'm wrong. No. Wednesdays will be the one that's kind of iffy, but I'm going to do Mondays and Fridays. But I have been kicking around this idea of maybe just doing one Mornings with the Outlaw every week, calling it the Roundup, maybe doing it on Fridays, and then talking about all the week's news for a 2-hour show from like 8 to 10. That's a possibility. I've been kicking around for Friday mornings and maybe leaving Mondays to be a little more of a prep for the week type of day, but we'll see. I do enjoy doing the show. Let's see. Haskell 420. What's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in, man. Rhino's Pappy. What's up, Rhino's Pappy? How you been doing? Justin Towns. I did off. Yeah, he's there. He's talking some stuff. Justin Towns is. Let's see who else is in here that I haven't said hi to. Andy Burnett. What's up? Happy times on yo. Big Chuck 420. What's up? Whoop, whoop. Sihar, what's up? Ronnie Padilla, hello. King Sport Cal, what's going down, man? Calvin, what's going down? And Kevin Lenda, well, good morning, y'all. Already we're up to 41. We jumped in just 1 minute up to 41 people watching this morning. Really appreciate it. Can't thank you all enough for being part of the Outlaw Nation and part of the Outlaw Nation channel. Hope you subscribe below. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscription button. Hit that subscribe button down below. We crossed over 12,500 last night. So step by step, piece by piece, inch by inch, we're getting to where we want to get to, which is over 20,000 follow or subscribers, and then more and more as we go down the road. So that's the goal here. I don't know if I have any. I think Shug is supposed to be moderating. I don't know if Shug is in here right now, but if not, let me just put that out to you right there below. See that Streamlabs down there, that address right below me, right there. www.streamlabs.com. John Rocha says, yeah, please go and send some. So if you wanted some questions answered, things of that nature, send in your Streamlabs, support the show, support what we're doing, with Mornings with the Outlaw, but also support the Outlaw Nation and the things that we're doing as well. And if you want to send in some super chats, please feel free to do that as we go along. I got my Coke Zero. That's right, my Coke Zero in the morning. Some people freak out when you have Coke in the morning. I don't understand it. Some people that drink coffee have an issue with you drinking Coke in the morning. It's a weird thing I've discovered in life. It's very strange. But it wets the whistle for me. Yeah. There's Shug. What's up, Shug? Thank you so much. What's up, John Ashford, Queen George Jim. Hello, Luis Macia. Good to see you. Luis Macia is rather good to see you. Matthew Marceau. Hello. Jonathan Gibbons. Hello. Cameron Hainsworth. Hello. And Kevin Lenda. Thank you all for the great stuff. It breaks up the day with everything going on. I'm sure it does. There we go. Sorry, we froze for a second there. I got worried. Speaking of subscribers, I do want to give a shout out to everybody who subscribed over the last 24 hours. Thank you to Byron Doxey. Thank you to Matt James. Thank you to Keith Phillips, Chris Cortez, H the Wiz, Silver Gimmick, M Sante Brock, John Darko Cinema Photography, Trev Ben 009, and Sengiz Kiazim. So thank you all so much for joining the Outlaw Nation here on a lovely Friday morning. If you like the rain, which I do, I've been enjoying this weather. I know a lot of people hate this weather, but I kind of love this weather. I enjoy the rain. I enjoy what it does to the vegetation. It's greener out there in the world. I also think it's good to take a little bit of a break from the sun here in LA. I'm not always the biggest sun guy, so I like it a little bit cold. I like bundling up, that kind of stuff. The only negative is I can't take the bike out for a ride, which I've been doing kind of recently a little bit, and taking the walks to try to keep the weight down, because, sitting around in quarantine, you can put the weight on if you're not careful about what you're eating, and if you're not taking moments to like just kind of walk around and get the juices flowing, things of that nature. Andrew Valdez says they learned it from their mothers. You don't drink soda for breakfast? Justin Sound says, my sister and brother-in-law drink Diet Coke the minute they wake up till bed and bitch at me if I bring a six-pack of beer to Thanksgiving dinner. That's ridiculous, dude. It is ridiculous. Yeah, Rick and Morris, cuddle weather. Absolutely, man. All right, well, let's jump into this thing. So many, no graphics today, just kind of chilling out and having a good time. No pictures rather to put up, so we're just going to talk to y'all straight up. And please send in your Streamlabs, send in your Super Chats, and maybe if there's enough time at the end there, we'll bring some of y'all to ask me some questions live, and I'll put on the headphones and things of that nature now that we're in the StreamYard instead of the OBS Streamlabs. It's a lot easier. So, it says, Jonathan Gibbs, I love the Dark Victory graphic. No, hell yeah, I love Dark Victory. All right, anyway, so let's jump into this thing. Last night, or the other day rather, Taika Waititi did an Instagram live for Thor, Love, and Thunder. Of course, Taika is returning to direct the next Thor movie after doing such an incredible job with Thor Ragnarok. Some would even argue resuscitating the Thor line of the Thor franchise after those first two films were unevenly received by people. And by that, I mean they enjoyed Chris Hemsworth as Thor, but didn't 100% like those movies overall. So good to see Taika coming back. I'm excited for him to come back. Certainly Ragnarok is a fun film to watch again, and on Disney Plus it's out now for you to enjoy. But he was joined by Tessa Thompson and Mark Ruffalo on this Instagram live. This was Thursday night. He hosted a viewing party actually for Ragnarok on Instagram live, and they talked about some of the concept art for Thor Love and Thunder. He showed some it was kind of blurry. Some of the stuff he showed looked like a massive complex that was very reminiscent to the seaside port that Thor and Valkyrie were a part of there in Avengers Endgame. And this film is picking up right after the events of Avengers Endgame. It's supposed to be released on February 18th, 2022 as a kind of Valentine's Day release. And of course, that's the new release date after all the moves that were made a few days ago by Marvel/Disney with their entire Phase 4 slate. Taika Waititi said, it's like 10-year-olds told us what should be in a movie, and we said yes to every single thing. Speaking about the premise for Love and Thunder, he did say there have been 5 drafts of the script, and that Tessa has read the most recent one. He also said about the film, he said, it's so over the top now in the very best way. It makes Ragnarok seem like a really run-of-the-mill, very safe film. This new film films like we asked a bunch of 10-year-olds what should be in a movie and just said yes to everything. So I think the first part of the quote is really interesting. It's so over the top now in the very best way. It makes Ragnarok seem like a really run-of-the-mill, very safe film. That tells you volumes about what we might be seeing here in Thor, Love, and Thunder. Talking about 10-year-olds, things of that nature, that's the thing that we want to feel like when we're in a theater seeing these superhero films or Star Wars films or Indiana Jones films or whatever. We want to go back to being a kid and enjoying those kinds of things and seeing the fantasy of it all, believing all the possibilities of the world at that time, and just having a big dumb smile on our face and kind of taking our mind off the troubles that are going on in our adult lives. We want to just go and enjoy those films. And so maybe this Thor, Love, and Thunder has a lot of interesting twists and turns that will be fun for us to watch. They did announce it at San Diego Comic-Con last year, and they also said that Valkyrie would be one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's first LGBTQ heroes. As the new leader of the Asgardians, she's looking for a queen. Well, where will that take her? And they were asked about Korg, if Korg would get a love interest as well. And Waititi said that Korg will stay single because he was deeply in love and lost that love along the line. He doesn't feel brave enough to find love again. So I love this idea that they're even, entertaining or playfully entertaining the idea of Korg having a love story or having a love interest in Thor: Love and Thunder. It would be interesting to see how they go about that. He had that Marvel fans will learn more about Korg's Cronin alien race, and that here's the big deal: space sharks, creatures from the comics, will appear. Space sharks. I'm gonna talk about that in just a little bit. But more Cronin alien race. So what could that mean? Like, are they all gonna have these New Zealand accents and all talk like this? Hey man, we have a gathering. Are they gonna do that kind of stuff, or is it gonna be a different kind of accent? Are they all gonna have different accents? I'm down to see what the situation is. So we'll see. PC says, I really wish there was a Schmobot here. PC, you send in $20, I will read it in the Schmobot voice. Anybody who sends in a $20 Streamlabs donation or $20 super chat, I promise I will read it in the Schmobot female voice, or I'll read it in the Schmobot Australian voice. Trust me on that. I will absolutely do that. So in essence, the Schmobot is in here. It'll just be me doing it. So, all right. Let's see. The director Waititi also wouldn't give any information on Christian Bale's character and who he might be playing in the movie. He also confirmed that Silver Surfer is not in the film. Silver Surfer not in the film. He wouldn't comment about Loki, though. He wouldn't talk about Loki, whether Loki's going to come back or not. Loki is coming back. There's no way they kill off Loki or Tom Hiddleston as Loki. There's no way that would go about. So for me, personally speaking, I know he's going to show up in some form or another. They wouldn't do a Loki TV series if it wasn't in some way going to come back in some form in one of the projects or a couple of the projects. Ruffalo then came in, replaced Tessa Thompson, but they just kind of messed around and did a split screen video thing, and so it wasn't that big a deal. But let's move back to three things on this. All right, first of all, there's no information on Christian Bale's character. So who is he going to play? A lot of people kind of ran away with it when Tessa Thompson said it was fantastic that he'd be in there. They were referencing Victor Von Doom, maybe Dr. Doom. That's a possibility as well. A lot of people mentioned other villains in the Thor universe that could be Christian Bale's character. And we don't get the Silver Surfer. So that's an interesting thing too. Remember in the second Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, that was a big deal to have the Silver Surfer be a part of it. And of course, Silver Surfer would kind of lend itself to the possibility of Fantastic Four being extended or connected to Thor, Love and Thunder. That's what people are looking for. Like, when are we getting a Fantastic Four film? When are we getting an X-Men film? Now, Christian Bale's character, we don't need to know about it just yet. I like the idea that it's kind of mysterious and being kept under wraps. This thing's a long way off. We're in 2020, and we just crossed February of 2020 because we're in April right now. February was only a month and a half ago. So unfortunately, we're not going to get ourselves too much knowledge about what's going on probably for a while. And the fact that they've written 5 drafts of the script lets you know that they've been working on this for quite some time, but also they've got many different elements they want to throw into the movie that they hope works. So that'll be that. That'll be that the same. King's not the same. King's not the same. I've spoken. I know PC's going off about something, but anyway, PC, I'm down to do your Schmobot. Anybody wants to send in $20, you'll definitely get the Schmobot. All right. Let's see. What's the other thing here? So let's jump into this idea of space sharks. Well, for some of you who may not know this, space sharks have appeared in the Marvel universe. They first appeared. This is interesting. They first appeared. Speaking of Fantastic Four or X-Men, they first appeared in Uncanny X-Men number 162. They were created by Chris Claremont and Dave Cochran. So that was in October of 1982. I probably have that issue somewhere at my mom's house. I started collecting comics when I was 10 years old. So maybe I have that somewhere around there in my mom's house. But anyway, star sharks or star space sharks are shark-like creatures that live in space. This is from Marvel's wiki as well. They are known to be present at least in the Pegasus system, and because of their ruthlessness, it was known the god Tempest was coming when even the space sharks fled in terror. They vary greatly in size. They reach up to lengths ranging in hundreds of feet. Hundreds of feet. Remember Jaws? That's 20-footer. 25. They vary greatly in size, reaching up to lengths ranging in hundreds of feet. As I said, there's The sharks are highly maneuverable and they travel at high velocity in space, though they lack the natural ability to travel faster than light. The star sharks are regularly used by the Brood, who infect the minds of the creatures in order to use them as living craft that they modify, weaponize, and enhance in order to serve their needs as spacecrafts. And they crash onto planets to invade them. The Chitauri have used the space sharks or leviathans they use something called leviathans by biomechanically engineering and weaponizing Akanti star shark hybrids. Some star sharks were captured by the collector for his collection, but at least one crew were all eaten when a star shark got loose inside the collector's ship. So the collector, Benicio del Toro's character, might be involved in this in some way with the space sharks, the star sharks, bringing it all. And remember, at the end of Thor Dark World, they show up to the collector, Valkyrie. I'm sorry, Ray Stevenson's character, and ask if they show up there to hand him over one of the stones. As far as powers and abilities for the star sharks, they're able to float and otherwise travel through space. They are captured by the Brood. They undergo technical modification for advanced propulsion to increase their offensive capabilities. They are altered by the Brood, commonly having their mouths braced open, and are equipped with directed energy weapons, as well as snare lines capable of delivering the slaver virus to stunned captives. Unmodified star sharks, this is legitimately coming here, have enough strength to knock Thor around. So the thing is, does this mean there'll be a possibility of an X-Men crossover in Love and Thunder? Will we get something or some variation reference there that will get our nerd ideas going with the possibility that they could float around and do what they need to do for Thor? Thor God of Thunder #8 has him fighting the space sharks or the star sharks, so that's in there. He's been kicked around or beat around in that in the episode, or in the issue rather, of that series. Thor God and Thunder Volume 1 issue 8 has the star sharks in there beating up Thor. Now let's look at the Brood. The Brood's an interesting thing to consider too, because I wasn't sure how deep into the Brood they were going to go. The Brood is a race of insectoids, and he did mention that there would be space insects possibly in this. So maybe we're getting the Brood as kind of the main species villain of this, but not sure what part Christian Bale is going to play in all of this. And they're from Earth 616 or 616. They're insectoids. Their average height is about 8 feet tall. Their eyes yellow. They have no hair, and their skin gray, and they have 8 limbs. They're a race that's 1,000 years old. They've been in the Milky Way since at least 2620 BC, and have established nests on hundreds of worlds across the cosmos. They are led by queens, with the Empress Brood as the supreme leader. Kind of sounds like aliens, and that's in that way. So maybe that's part of this as well. The supreme intelligence is involved in this in some form, as well as the Shi'ar Empire and the Shi'ar Galaxy. So, and this goes back to like ancient Egypt, but they encountered the X-Men first when they allied themselves with the renegade Shi'ar Deathbird to help her depose her sister Lilandra as the ruler of the Empire. Deathbird gave Lilandra their allies, the X-Men, and their human friend Carol Danvers. Let's figure that in there. Who had been the superhero Miss Marvel before Rogue stole her powers, and even one of her own allies, Fang of the Imperial Guard, to use as hosts for the Queen embryo. So this could be interesting on so many levels already. We hear the idea of the X-Men. We hear the idea of Captain Marvel. We hear the idea of these insects come in kind of like alien-like. What's that form going to take in terms of Taika Waititi's movies? That could be curious to see how this all plays out. But I find it to be massively interesting and perfectly exciting on so many levels for this particular version of Thor Love and Thunder. So I like it. I like this one to go at it and do his craziness. And I think that's what we wanted to see. Like, we enjoyed Ragnarok so much, and we're like, well, where are we going next? Where are we going next with this? And certainly that is what is next here. This is a super chat that just came in. John Ashford said, holy crap, it just hit me. Tessa Thompson said Bale's role was fantastic. What if he plays Reed Richards? Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't thought about Christian Bale playing Reed Richards instead of a villain. That could be curious for sure. That could absolutely be curious to see him play Oh man, Christian Bale as Reed Richards. That could work. Kind of a tortured genius, the ability to stretch, the guilt of flying the ship into that situation where his friends and family get infected and become what they become. Yeah, I like that idea. That is certainly possible. Okay, let's see here. Damn, that's a big ass bug. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's see what else we got going through. I want to see if there's any other Streamlabs or super chats that came through. I don't want to miss any of them. But yeah, I like the idea of him playing Reed Richards. That could be fun on so many levels. And Bale certainly has gotten thin enough to play roles as we remember in The Machinist. So it wouldn't be a problem for him to get into a certain, I don't know, what do you call it, certain body type to fit into that situation for sure. So that could be a lot of fun. Let me see. Oh, we've got some Streamlabs that donated here. Andrew G said, really looking forward to Love and Thunder. I really liked what they did with Ragnarok. I really hope we see Beta Ray Bill in this, if not in something else soon. As for Silver Surfer, I would love to see a movie in a very deep philosophical space story. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think that's how you use Silver Surfer and get to that point where you've got a kind of an offshoot film that's more philosophically based, more about the concepts of the universe, how to function within the universe, what's right and what's wrong. And remember, he's a slave to Galactus for a reason, and what happens to him and what he experiences and what he goes through and what he has to pay for, what guilt he carries as well, carrying out these orders for Galactus. So, I mean, Silver Surfer could be very interesting to explore in that in that framework, Andrew G. So I totally take your point. Yeah, I hope we get Beta Ray Bill. A lot of people speculating Christian Bale could be playing Beta Ray Bill as well. So certainly the possibilities are all out there for him to play any number of characters. Could be fun to explore. PC says, LOL, Rocha, I love you so much. I'm on Discord and joined your Patreon. I'm the lurker in your Discord, PVC213. Just don't know how to use it. You're the realist. Speaking of Thor, wearing my Thor shirt right now, and I'll take Dark World over Ragnarok. Wow, you're one of those rare ones that likes Dark World over Ragnarok. Wow, that's a hot take and a half. Last night on my Patreon, some of the patrons who were in there were like dropping their hot takes about movies. It was a fun conversation, about 15, 20 minutes, hearing from all of them what they consider to be their hot takes overall. And you can do that with me. You can join on the Patreon right there. You see below, www.patreon.com/John Rocha. Come and see the 2 years that are going on. I've definitely been more active on the Patreon in the last couple of weeks, and that's going to continue more and more as we start to slowly maybe turn the corner of the possibility that the Schmodown is coming back. Don't forget, today we got the exhibition match. I don't know if we're carrying it live or if it's going to be coming up later, but we are recording the exhibition match today. Me versus Smets versus Alex Damon versus Dan Murrell. So that's going to be a fun match to have. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see. If I haven't had a chance to study because I've been working on so many things, so I may crap the bed on this, but I'm still gonna have some fun. It's an exhibition match, so I don't have to like bring the thunder, the love and thunder, so to speak. But yes, thank you, PC. I really appreciate it. It's always fun when you're around and you make your comments. But yeah, respect to you liking Dark World over Ragnarok. You are one of the rarest ones in that point of view and that take. Maybe someday if you get the guts to come on or the courage to come on the Patreon tier, on the $7 tier, and come into the video chat, you can drop your hot take and we can have a discussion about it with everybody else who's in there. Kyle donated. He said, hey, John, really appreciate how you're not complaining but making content and keeping everything positive. And people, when you go to the store, please thank the workers. They're not getting extra pay. A huge majority are scared and terrified, and they're only getting minimum wage. Yeah, absolutely, Kyle. Totally respect that. And thank you very much for noticing that. Yeah, I'm trying to build up content. There's more coming. Brian Ward and I have been working on some things, and he's got some videos for all my shows now. Like you saw at the beginning of Mornings with the Outlaw, there's going to be videos before every show now. It's going to be a fun little entrance. But also my Star Wars show is coming. So that announcement will probably be next week. I'll announce my new show that is a Star Wars show. So that could be, I hope you guys will enjoy that. And that's going to be like a half-hour show where I just talk about one thing going on that week in the world of Star Wars. And it could be just, if nothing's going on, it could be just a philosophical question about, and then like what my feelings are about it. So it'll be produced content that you all can enjoy on that way. Because not everything can be a live stream, as much as I do enjoy them. And I do enjoy them. not everything can be a live stream. I think you guys like some variety, which is regular content that you can watch and enjoy. But thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. And yes, your words are absolutely right. Please thank the workers when you go in there, give them a smile, and maybe you won't get back from them the smile or the same kind of, oh, thank you that you might be expecting. But I think it's important to say it, because sometimes, man, when you trust me, I've worked retail before. I've worked these jobs before when I was way younger. And just that little, like thank you or a little moment of appreciation is always great. Even if in the moment the worker looks tired or doesn't give you the biggest smile because they are tired from working hours, later on, it'll be something they can feel subconsciously or remember later on and feel good about. And that's a positive energy to put in the world. So I think that's a good way to go about doing things here, because a lot of them they don't have the protection. We saw already, I saw today that that a lot of workers are going to walk out and protest today, a symbolic protest, walk off their jobs for about an hour, I think, to protest the fact that they are not being allowed to protect themselves at their jobs. And we're talking fast food jobs, retail jobs, things of that nature. They're not being allowed to wear the masks or wear the gloves or things of that nature. And they think that is going to make them more susceptible to catching the COVID-19 or coronavirus. And I think that's fair to absolutely step out. Because look, if we're taking advantage of them, of them being there for us when we want to go get fast food or groceries or whatever the frontline stuff is, the essential stuff is, they should be protected as well. I mean, especially because they're making lower wages. And why should they be more susceptible to this than other people who make higher wages, who can afford to be laid off for a while and brought back onto their jobs? And I think that's the thing that's important. You have to have perspective in the world, and going and speaking to these people and giving them some love. It's not a negative. It's not a negative at all. Spread the positive energy you want to get back in your life as well. That's how you do things in the world, and you never know what can come back to you for sure. All right, thank you guys for those Streamlabs. I really appreciate it. Let me see if there's any other super chats that have rolled through here that I might have missed. We got about 81 of you all in here. Kind of a light day today, I guess. It's probably my fault for not posting about it so fervently last night and this morning on Twitter to get people in here. But hopefully people will watch later on. It is a Friday. It's one of those lazy Fridays. I totally respect it. And it's cold out there, so maybe people want to stay in. Don't want to necessarily watch Mornings with the Outlaw live. They'll watch it later, which has happened for the show. We've gotten close to 2,000 downloads almost on every episode, which is really great to see. Of course, the Outlaw Nation show is the show that's really blowing up like crazy. Getting 4,000 views, almost 4,000. Oh, getting over 4,000 views for almost every episode, which I appreciate. And so that's a killer one today. All right, let's move on to the next story. And the next story is, once again, there's no graphics for this or no pictures for this, so just letting you all kind of just roll with my face on your screens and my voice in your ears. So AMC Theater there was a report that came out yesterday from MKM Partners analyst Eric Handler. They were assessing the viability of AMC at this point and where it stands right now financially with all these shutdowns and having their theaters shut down for as long as they have been. And really, it's only been, 2 or 3 months? Like, it's just kind of interesting to see how quickly AMC is in trouble, according to this report. Eric Handler said, quote, based on our view that theaters will be closed until at least August, and our belief that AMC, and that's first I've heard of that, right, until August, because there are still some films that are supposedly on the slate for July that haven't been moved yet. So this idea that their theaters are going to be closed till August, that's interesting. And our belief that AMC lacks the liquidity to stay afloat until that time, we expect the company will soon be faced with filing for bankruptcy. Pretty interesting stuff. He downgraded AMC Theaters stock from neutral to sell. So that word bankruptcy is kind of scary. How many of you all have AMCs in your houses? In your towns that are massive, like 20 or 16 theaters or 10, 12 theaters, like things of that nature. So many AMCs. There's like a crap ton of AMCs around here in LA. And AMC was picking up other theaters over the last few years. The Sunset 5 over here that used to be kind of an independent movie theater. AMC bought it up and made it the AMC Sunset Drive-In. Even though it's not Drive-In, it's a Sunset. It's called the Sunset Drive-In. And you go and watch movies there. So it's fascinating. So he said he changed it from neutral to sell. Like I said, AMC reported $265 million in cash and equivalents on hand, plus $332 million available via lines of credit as of December 31st of last year, 2019. Handler said AMC is the exhibition company we view with the least financial flexibility. We believe the company's monthly cash burn rate in a no revenue environment is running at $155 million per month, which likely keeps AMC liquid until June or July. Kind of crazy that idea that it can, it'll be liquid until June or July, and then they might have to file for bankruptcy so quickly after only a few months. Shares of AMC Entertainment Holdings were down more than 4% in trading. AMC hasn't said anything about this yet, so they're probably just looking at everything before they figure things out now. And maybe some of you might be thinking, well, what about government bailout? The package, that stimulus package they passed. Well, Handler wrote the company's high leverage ratio, which is with $4.75 billion in debt. $4.75 billion. That's incredible. Will make for tough sledding, thus making a reorganization inevitable. And speaking of reorganization, they had to cut costs, AMC, while the theaters remain closed. So they furloughed more than 600 corporate employees, including CEO Adam Aron. If your CEO is getting furloughed, you know how deep the problem is here with this company and their assets. Again, I've said this before. I said this to Snyder last week when we were doing Mornings with the Outlaw, and I was super surprised that there are so many companies that have been found out that are living paycheck to paycheck. Very, very shocking to see that. You think, because they have so many theaters around the country, they're making all this money and all these movies are coming out, multiple screenings of these movies. All these movies are making billions of dollars. So therefore AMC is making, I'm surprised at how many of them are on the edge here in that way. And here's the big thing. AMC informed their landlords that they will not pay rent starting in April while the cinemas are shut down. Hey, I'd like to do that. I'd like to tell my landlord I'm not going to pay rent starting in April because I got all kinds of stuff going on. I can't tell him that right now. It's not a situation that I'm allowed to take advantage of. But pretty incredible to just blatantly say that and tell their landlords. Because, of course, what are their landlords going to do? Trying to kick out all that? They don't have the money to go in there and, just take everything out of those theaters and sort of resell the space to someone else. Everything is shut down right now. So maybe that's the advantage they're using, or the leverage they're using to not pay the rent. The elimination of these monthly rent payments, or the deferral of them, quote, would essentially double the number of months that AMC could survive without any revenue and without any liquidity. Any liquidity event, said B. Riley senior analyst Eric Wolt. He wrote a note on Wednesday. The company also may be able to obtain working capital assistance from vendors, including via deferral of payments due to the studios, which has potential to increase the safety net even further. That's what Wold said. So that's a possibility as well, that studios could come in with their cash and their money and try to kind of keep these theaters alive. Because if there's no theaters to show your movies, how are you going to make money other than streaming? And streaming isn't anywhere near the amount of money that you can make when you're showing movies in theater. So this coronavirus has really kind of exposed so many things about the business of movies and theaters and things of that nature, and also how much they rely on that money to stay alive and without any backup or any real savings account, so to speak, to rely on. So to the point they have to tell people they're not going to pay rent. It's pretty surprising overall. Handler, that's the gentleman I was referencing earlier. Handler's prediction is that AMC Theaters is headed for bankruptcy. Reorganization comes after Loop Capital's Alan Gould in an April 8th research note called that scenario a distinct possibility, and added that at a minimum, the theater chain will need highly dilutive financing to stay afloat. So very shocking stuff there for AMC. I want to see if there's maybe a comment that came out this morning let's see here, that maybe they had a statement about it. AMC Theaters, this was in March. They did say they were shut down for 6 to 12 weeks. The AMC Stubs A-list memberships will be paused automatically. Okay, the chain is owned by Chinese conglomerate Dalian Wanda Group. They own a majority of the voting stake. That is, they've been looking for ways to cut cost. Let's see. The theater chain hired law firm Gibson, Dunn and Crutcher to advise on a possible restructure. So, of course, lawyers are still making their money. No lie there. Since March, the New York Post reported nearly all of the United States' 40,000 screens have gone dark. Blockbusters like Black Widow, Fast and Furious 9, No Time to Die, they've all been postponed. The National Association of Theater Owners, a trade group that represents 33,000 screens in 50 states, said last month that it asked the government for help to support its 150,000 employees with loan guarantees, tax benefits, and funds to offset the sales. But it may be a little too late for AMC. This is the theater landscape will look much different when it comes back. I think so as well. So AMC did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but Aaron said in a statement that we are ever so disappointed for our moviegoing guests and for our employee teams. The health and well-being of AMC guests and employees and of all Americans takes precedence above all else. We will continue to monitor the situation closely and look forward to the day we can again delight moviegoers nationwide by reopening AMC theaters in accordance with the guidance from the CDC. The theater stock has dropped 60% in the last 3 months. 60%. That's a hell of a drop, and that's tough to survive in this economy and in this world. So we might be hearing some more from this AMC stuff that is very uncomfortable and unsettling, sadly. And that's what you don't want to see. You don't want to see that kind of stuff. And you hope AMC bounces back, because all of us miss movies. All of us miss going to the movies and sitting around with everybody and enjoying these films. It would be a lot of fun if we were able to do that. So unfortunately, that's where we got. Zeno Hour says the studios could give AMC a bailout. Just saying, well, the studios are laying off employees too, Zeno. So I don't know. And I don't know if you know about how the studios work individually and know their books and things to make a comment like that, man. You got to do a little bit of research and find out, can they actually give AMC a bailout? Is there enough money? Because they're trying to survive as well. Is there enough money to give AMC a bailout? And don't forget, AMC is not the only theater chain that's out there. There's a number of theater chains that could use help from the studios that they screen their movies at. So that's a possibility too. Another sip of my Coke. Let's see here. Let's see. I want to see another comment here that's going to. Yeah, Robert Young, is this going to push along the inevitable when it comes to films going straight to VOD and streaming? I think until we see money, it's not going to do that necessarily. Until we see that these streaming numbers are bringing in revenue at the level to which they brought in revenue for the studios, I don't anticipate that happening anytime soon for sure. Xenonard throwing another comment, says, John, breaking news from THR. Fede Alvarez set to direct 16 states for Lionsgate, a hot spec script about a zombie pandemic. Oh, great. Another zombie film. Awesome. Great. Let me see. And I mean that sarcastically. Let me see what we've got on that story as it's breaking. Fede Alvarez, good independent horror movie director for sure. Let's see. I don't see. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's look at the news. Yeah, here we go. This is from Deadline. Yes. Fede Lionsgate won an auction for 16 states, a thriller scripted by John Requa and Glenn Ficarra, who did Jungle Cruise and sadly did This Is Us. I'm not a big fan of that show. It's to be directed by Fede Alvarez, who did Don't Breathe, which is a damn good movie, and that remake of Evil Dead. Let's see if they can reveal any details about it. No, it's a pretty simple stuff here. Package got competitive. But Lionsgate Film Group's Joe Drake, Nathan Kahane, and Aaron Westerman have a strong history with Alvarez. Drake and Kahane produced Alvarez's Don't Breathe and Evil Dead when they were partners with Sam Raimi at Ghost House. Let's see, Lionsgate marketing chief Damon Wolf oversaw the Don't Breathe campaign that helped turn the film into a sleeper hit at Screen Gems. So there you go. That's not much about the script that's been revealed. So that sounds like Fede's next project. Let's see. I just want to see if there's anything else. Nope. Nothing else on that, Yeah, he did Don't Breathe. He did The Girl in the Spider's Web, which I went to see. I liked that movie. I know a lot of people didn't give it positive reviews, but I enjoyed that movie. I liked what Claire Foy did with it. I think Fede did a fantastic job directing that movie. So I got no complaints about the fact that he's taking on something like this. It sounds like a pretty interesting project in terms of the fact that it's a thriller and things of that nature. I think Fede will bring it out and do a nice job with that. Bloody Disgusting also announcing that news as well. So giving them some love in that way. Let me see if there's anything else popping off a Deadline before we jump into our last thing. Julianne Moore film Wolfhard to star in When You Finish Saving the World for the writer-director Jesse Eisenberg with Emma Stone producing. Wow. Well, there you go. What a combo of all actors involved to try to make a film. Give them some love. A lot of that's happening so much more where actors are producing a lot of the content you're seeing, a lot of the films you're seeing. It's always surprising. Bradley Cooper was producing recently a couple of films. Certainly Margot Robbie produces her own stuff. No surprise, see Emma Board jumping up on that train as well. Let's see. I just want to see if there's anything new dropping down that you guys might enjoy. Yeah, I know the casting crew is furloughing 50% of its employees. Yeah, Taika Waititi. Yep, there we go. All right, cool. Just want to make sure we didn't miss anything on deadline. Thank you for pointing that out or hipping me to that, Zeno. I appreciate it very much. So there you go. Could be interesting with Fede Alvarez. I like that idea of him jumping into another, thriller in that way. Is it a pandemic? Let's see. Studio Zeno, are you finding details about this script? Let me see here. A pandemic, this time with zombies, with a story of a mother trying to reach her family at the center of it. The project has been described as having shades of the Will Smith zombie movie I Am Legend. All right, pretty cool. I like that we got a female lead on this one. I know Bird Box was an interesting take on that. I thought Sandra Bullock did a decent job with that. Not overall great, but certainly that possibility of having a mother trying to save her kids from a zombie attack or a zombie situation certainly would be fun to look at. Speaking of zombies, I suppose I should tell you all this. I had a fantastic, I don't know if I have the thumbnail anymore. No, I don't. Oh, well, but I had a fantastic conversation just a couple of days ago with Greg Nicotero. That's right, Greg Nicotero. He came on the Deep Cut. We sat down for an hour to talk about the fact that he's got this new Creep Show a remake that he did, and he is putting it up putting it out on digital and VOD. I think it's May 19th. So next month is when that's coming, and I will absolutely be putting that one in as well as putting that one up as soon as I can. But I think it's coming out. The interview, they said it has to come out like May 19th, midnight May 19th. There we go. That's right. There it is. John Rocha. That's a Deep Cut interview with Greg Nicotero. He was so much fun. Sat down with him for an hour, as I just said. We went back for literally, the guy can talk for days, and I love it. He filled up the hour, no problem. I probably asked like 5 questions, and he just went on these answers that were extensive and had tangents to them. They were a lot of fun to listen to, and asked him a lot about the Creep Show. Got to ask him a little bit about Walking Dead and then whatever he's got coming on. And he does speak a little bit about what he's got coming up for season 2 of Creep Show as well. So if you haven't watched Creep Show, it's up there on Shudder for the AMC streaming service, and you can enjoy those shows there. Every episode is 2 separate stories, 20 minutes each, and some good actors involved in it. Some old school actors like Adrian Barbeau and Jeffrey Combs, for those of you who remember old 80s horror films. And then also he's got Giancarlo Esposito in there. He's got Dana Gould, comedian Dana Gould in there. DJ Qualls does a fantastic job. Trisha Helfer is in this. So if you haven't watched any of the Creep Show stuff from season 1, you should definitely go and take a look at that. Whoa, where's my graphic? You should definitely go take a look at that and enjoy Greg Nicotero, his work and all those directors' work in that piece. Even Tom Savini directs one of those pieces. So it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I got to sit down with him for an hour. So that's going to come out next month, May 19th. I'll drop it midnight of May 19th. So it'll coincide with the release of those of that Creep Show season 1 on DVD and digital for people to own. So it's the best. It's the best. And he was awesome. So much fun. All right. Yeah. Send in Streamlabs, send in your super chats. Going to wrap it up after we talk about this last episode or this last thing, because it looks like I'm going to be on SCN Live today with Christian and the crew. So that's going to be a lot of fun overall, hanging out with those champs and talking the stuff we're going to talk about today. If we can get the Skype to work, if you can get the Skype to work, I'll be on. If you can't get the Skype to work, it doesn't look like I will be on. And then later on today, I will be on Dorina's live stream. So Dorina's going to have me on around 3:15. I'll be on for about half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that, and then jump off to go and compete in the champs versus champ versus champ versus champ match for the Schmodown exhibition matches that we've got coming up. So that'll be a lot of fun overall. Let me see any more stream. Okay, here we go. Andrew G. Donner said, not a topic today, but but have you watched Amazon's Tales from the Loop yet? I finished it last night and cried and cried and cried. I thought it was a beautiful series and look forward to more one day. No, I haven't seen it yet, Andrew G, but it's certainly something I've got in my purview because I see a lot of ads for it when I drive to go to the store or something in LA over the last few weeks. I've seen the billboards up, and of course, I've seen the banners up on the internet. So that's certainly some show I will visit and see if I enjoy. Also, Devs is another one that I need to start. I may start Devs this weekend. Go episode by episode with Devs. A lot of people saying positive things about that, so I want to enjoy that. I haven't heard great things about Westworld, so I haven't dived into it. Got some couple of friends who are watching it who didn't enjoy it or are not enjoying it, so I haven't dived deep into Westworld yet. And who knows? We'll see. We'll see if I get a chance to do that later on. And actually give it some love, but I don't anticipate doing so. All right, I got over 123 y'all in here. Would love it if you swung on over and hit that like button. Get me to over 100 likes before I got to wrap this thing up. Please swing on over, hit that like button. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the Outlaw Nation channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give it some love. Get us closer to 20,000 followers. As I said at the start of the show, we just crossed over 12,500 followers. So thank you all so much. Inching closer to 13,000 and then rolling closer to the 20,000. So the content's going to keep coming. So hopefully more and more you will get involved with the Outlaw Nation and retweeting. And that's the most important thing when I drop any content is for all of you to retweet it and give it some love, because if you're retweeting it, you're saying to your followers and your friends, hey, this show is damn good. You should be listening to it or watching it. And that helps spread it. We have to move. I want to try to keep moving beyond just the Schmoedown audience. We got to get bigger and bigger. It's got to get bigger and bigger. And the way to do that is to reach out to more and more audiences and things of that nature. And of course, yes, supporting me on the Patreon is a positive as well down there at www.patreon.com/John Rocha. See all the multiple tiers. Already been doing these hangouts twice a week with the patrons. And I'll be getting in the Discord a little bit more as well. Also, the watch-alongs are coming. Honestly, I thought I put out asked people and about like what movies they want. Most everyone was like, whatever you want to watch, we want to do a watch along with you. So there you go. So I'll put it out like that. Also, my stand-up set from Atlanta, I finally got the video from RB3 for that. So maybe I'll be putting that out for people to enjoy on a certain tier, or maybe they can donate a certain amount and get a chance to listen to that. So sorry, there we go. Let me get that going with the thing. So Andrew Vanadell says, I've been watching HBO's Watchmen as well. That's good. Yes, definitely watch that. All right, our last story today, let me bring it up here. It is the Tiger King. Tiger King. Yeah. They have not, a few days ago, Jeff Lowe said that there was a new episode coming for the Tiger King, and everybody was like, well, we're not sure if he's telling the truth. The guy's a con man. He's probably just trying to, promote himself. Him and Lauren dropped that news on a cameo for Justin Turner, the player for the Los Angeles Dodgers. But they did announce yesterday, that it would release an 8th episode of the show. Netflix announced this. The Tiger King and I is what it's going to be called. It's all coming out on April 12th. It's an after show hosted by Joel McHale. Some of y'all know Joel McHale when he used to be on The Soup. He's done other things of that nature. Of course, he's been a good comedian, a good actor, and all these different things that he's done. But the announcement is brilliant. If you go to the Netflix Twitter account, you can see the announcement of Joel McHale in his full Tiger King outfit. Also, no shirt on, with those abs working overtime. And looking, obviously, making fun of John Finley there, and he's tattooed Netflix at the bottom, right below his belly button. Really funny stuff. But he says the show will be hosted by Joe McHale and feature brand new interviews with John Renke, Joshua Dial, John Finley, Saf, Eric Cowie, Rick Kirkman, and Jeff and Lauren Lowe. Like I said, it'll premiere April 12th. McHale says in the video, I talked to a lot of people involved in the project to see what's happening in their lives since the release of the series. It's eye-opening and hopefully funny. Conspicuously, there's no mention of Carol Baskin. So what does that mean? They released that 9-minute video or 10-minute video, Carol Baskin and her husband, like essentially saying that the series is a lie, that they got portrayed incorrectly, and there were some facts left out, things of that nature. So they released their video. So this is maybe they didn't want to come on and do the after show because they don't want to be part of what they probably see as a circus around this whole situation. So we'll see. And the series has garnered, they released this too. The series garnered 34 million unique views in the first 10 days of its release in the US alone, according to Nielsen. This has been crazy. A lot of people have written about it as well. And also, even President Trump in one of those coronavirus press conferences was asked about pardoning Joe Exotic, and he said, I'll look into it. I'll see what's going on. So there you go. So even it's reached all the way to the presidency, for the love of God. This fool and his tigers has reached all the way to the presidency. It's mind-blowing. Look, the series is incredible to watch. And I get it. For those of you who are maybe animal lovers, maybe it's offensive to watch the series and you're not sure if you want to watch the series because it might hurt, to see these mistreatment. You don't see mistreatment of the animals throughout. There are moments where you see that these guys are struggling to feed their animals, and near the tail end of what happens with Joe Exotic Zoo, there are certainly some but certainly some sad images of that situation. So that's basically the majority of what you see in terms of that stuff of mistreatment of the animals. Most of the other time, it's just seeing humans mistreating humans. That's really the number one thing throughout this whole series, is you're seeing so many humans who mistreat other humans or take advantage of other humans or use other humans to get what they want in the world. That's what you see most of all. But yeah, so if you haven't given it a chance, trust me, it's not one of those things where the public's going crazy over something stupid. No, this is actually an engrossing series, an interesting series, speaking about the human condition, but also about the things we can do to each other that's not necessarily always positive. So in that way, I think it's worth it for you all to take a look at it and enjoy it. Adrian Bailey says, watch Mornings with Al every morning, John. He is a great man, really friendly and respectful to his fans, and he's one half of the MTS World Tag Team Champions. I am, yeah. We'll see what happens. And thank you so much. It's not every morning. It's certainly at this point Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But yeah, I enjoy doing it very much. And I might actually shift it over to Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays, or Monday, Thursdays, and Fridays, because Wednesdays is after Outlaw Nation. Wednesday mornings is rough to do because Outlaw Nation usually goes pretty late, and I feel like people have already heard me talk for 3 hours. Do they want to tune in again the next morning to hear me talk about the world news? I'd rather push that to Thursday. That may be it. Is Monday, Thursdays, and Fridays I do mornings with the Outlaw, or Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays I'll do mornings with the Outlaw. I'm also kicking around, like I said, the idea of only doing it once a week, calling it the Roundup. It'll be on Fridays from 8 to 10, and we'll cover everything, and we'll get that, make that even more of an make that almost like a pseudo Outlaw Nation show, but in the morning. So you all would come on and we'll talk about everything that's been happening the whole week in the world of entertainment and get your thoughts and perspectives on it. So that'd be interesting overall for you all. See what you think. What do you think? Do you want to see me 3 times a week in the mornings, or do you want to see once on Friday mornings for 2 hours talking about everything that's going on from 8 to 10? Haskell 420 sent in Streamlabs. Thank you so much, Haskell. Appreciate it, my man. John, 2 Yankees questions. Out of the 96, 98, 99, 2000, and 2009 championships, which is your favorite? And I know this is an odd question. If you could read one New York newspaper of your favorite championship, which would it be? The clinching game, a certain win? It would be the clinching game. The clinching game is always great. I will say the 98 team is my favorite team. I was out of the country for the 98 team. I think they won so many games. And it was incredible to watch the World Series while I was in London. I was studying in London when they won the World Series. So it was fantastic to be going into a bar and seeing other Brits and other American expatriates who were living there or who were maybe studying there in the bar, and all of us watching the World Series for the Yankees, seeing them win the World Series. So for me, that's the one that's my favorite because of everything else that was involved in it. 98 is a seminal year in my life, when things have changed. Things changed for me and set me on this path of becoming an actor, and then set me on this path of coming to Los Angeles. I also became stronger friends with my friend Michael Vogel, which, of course, he is one third of the Geek Buddies. So all of us doing all the things that we did. 98 was a really seminal. Plus, I was a massive fan of Shakespeare. To be in Britain and be able to go to the Royal Shakespeare Company, see them perform plays and be around that kind of environment and that element was so enlightening for me and so inspirational for me. So being there in 98 and seeing my favorite sports team, the Yankees, win a World Series was so gratifying. And I still have the newspaper. I had my girlfriend at the time buy me, my girlfriend at the time buy me the newspaper for the Yankees winning the World Series. And I still have it as a collection. I only have a few things that I collect that are memorabilia, and that newspaper cover certainly is one of them. The Sports Illustrated cover, of course, I have as well. Just like I have a newspaper from when the United States beat Portugal in the World Cup in '94, I think. I have that as well. I have that newspaper saved. So little sports moments I keep to myself and save them on my stream, in my life, so to speak. So, all right, got 125 y'all in here. I think I'm going to wrap this thing up now because I got to jump onto SEN Live. Unfortunately, we didn't get over 100 likes. Would love it if in the next 2 minutes or 3 minutes as I'm wrapping this thing up, you'll swing over and hit like on this YouTube live feed. I'd really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to get over 100 likes. Thank you all so much. I'm at 88 likes. Let's get me over to 100 likes before I get on out of here and get ready for, we're at 93 now. Yeah, 7 more likes. Come on, guys. 7 more likes would be great to get me over 100. All right, so please follow me as you see down below there. Which side here? Yeah, down below there at the Rocha says on Twitter and on Instagram. On Twitter, I'm trying to get above 35,000 followers. I'm at almost 33,000. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, please go over there and follow me on Twitter. Also follow me on Instagram. I'm almost at 18,000 on Instagram. I want to get over 20,000. Be great for you to follow me there as well. And of course, as I mentioned numerous times, the Patreon. Go and get involved in www.patreon.com/John Rocha. Also, subscribe to the Outlaw Nation channel. And I do have to pitch everything that's going on the Outlaw Nation channel. On the pro wrestling show Strong Style, we just dropped our latest episode yesterday. It is the 2005 Unbreakable match for the X Division Championship between AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels. 29 minutes of some of the best wrestling you're ever going to watch. Aaron and I break it all down and talk about its legacy, talk about the build up to the match, and then what happened afterwards to all those wrestlers that were involved in that match. Really cool stuff. Plus, we just recorded last night a review of the latest Dark Side of the Ring episode covering the Brawl for All from 1998. Speaking of 98, in the WWF, that nutty idea to have these wrestlers actually fight for real in boxing matches for points and status and money and everything that went on. If you haven't watched that episode of Dark Side of the Ring, you got to watch it. Then watch our review episode, which I'll be dropping later on. Also, the big news is we are officially a podcast network. We are officially a podcast network. So the Outlaw Nation Podcast Network is now available for you to go subscribe to. I will be putting up a graphic when I come back on Monday for Mornings with the Outlaw to give you a whole pitch for that. But it is now official. I spent all day yesterday putting up all the Outlaw Nation shows, putting up all the deep cut episodes, putting up the Strong Style stuff, and I'll be moving all the Mornings with the Outlaw stuff over there over the weekend as well. So all the Mornings with the Outlaws will be available. All the Outlaw Nation live streams will be available for you all to revisit in podcast form. So everything is going to be over there. So if you want to subscribe to that, go and subscribe. Just look for the Outlaw Nation Podcast Network. It's on Apple. It's on Google Podcasts. It's on Spotify, Anchor, Pocket Cast. It's on everything. Breaker. It's on everything I thought it should be on. It's on 7 of the 9 platforms it could be on. So you can go and download it and listen to any of the old episodes, any of the old interviews, things of that nature. Oh yeah, all of the film reviews are on there. Are curious to see what my thoughts are, Onward or Emma or Bad Boys for Life or The Gentleman. Those are all coming out on DVD and Blu-ray soon. So you want to review those reviews, please feel free. So much stuff is on there on the Outlaw Nation Podcast Network that I've dropped. So go and take a look and subscribe and be a part of that as well. Let's see. Do I have another Streamlabs that came through here? Oh, PC. What's up? Oh, Suge Knight. Yes, Suge Knight. Thank you. I want to see Rocha 4 times a week. John, can you give us some of your underrated movies? And can you talk about what's your mindset when interviewing a famous person like you did with The Rock and Stallone? Yeah, sure. With The Rock, my mindset was I was incredibly nervous to interview The Rock because I didn't know if I was going to stumble over my words. I didn't know how much time I was going to have. And they said throughout the day, they initially said we were going to have like 6 minutes with The Rock, then it was 5 minutes, and then it was 4 minutes. So, and then it was 3. By the time I walked in there, it was 3 to 4 minutes because he had come in like 2 hours late to the junket, so we had to adjust our questions accordingly and our time accordingly. Plus, Christian wanted me to do a promo with him for the Schmodown. If you haven't seen that promo, The Rock and I cut a promo. A lot of fun cutting that promo. So it's there if you want to go and find that on. I think it's on the Collider Network still. If you want to go and find that, that's a lot of fun overall. But now I'm a little more relaxed. That was a very nervous time because I was not used to interviewing celebrities, wasn't sure the parameters. That now after the Stallone interview, and then the Stallone interview was different because I felt very relaxed with Sylvester Stallone because I was such a fan of his, but I knew how to address him respectfully because a lot of people mistake Sylvester Stallone's characters with Sylvester Stallone. Stallone's an incredibly intelligent guy, very knowledgeable about art, very smart about business. He's just a knowledgeable, intelligent. So if you address him in an intelligent way, Sylvester Stallone, I know, responds to that. I've read numerous interviews where when he's being addressed in a way that's respectful and intelligent, he responds in kind. And so when I prepped for the Rambo Last Blood junket, I knew I had to ask him a question that was more philosophical. And that's why I got a better response from him. And he asked me to stay back and interview him with the two other women in the film as well. So that was a fun experience overall with him. And then interviewing Clint Eastwood was a lot of fun. So I have the last box I need to check in terms of people I want to interview that are heroes of mine is Schwarzenegger. If I ever get a chance to do a junket with Schwarzenegger, that's the next step. So I got to work hard on my end to make that happen for the Outlaw Nation. You know, publicists and studios still haven't fully 100% embraced the Outlaw Nation yet. And hey, it's only been 2 months. So, but I've got to work harder at like sending emails and keeping up with them and maybe taking them out to lunch, things of that nature. So I'll have to do a lot of the legwork on that to bring it up. As far as underrated movies, I can't answer that yet, Shug, because I think I'm going to go on to SCN Live, and that's what they're talking about is underrated movies. So I got to work on collecting a few of them in my mind, and I will do so. PC donated one last stream love here. Go Rams all day. Born and raised in LA, and they're my first LA team. I don't do that for the home. I don't go for the home team BS. I love the Spurs, Cubs, Blackhawks, Rams, LAFC. Go Carlos Vela, and yes, Chivas. Hello, Luis from Chicago. Well, there you go. PC dropping all the bombs up in here. Absolutely. Yeah, I became a Rams fan. When they moved here, I was just because I don't have NFL back. I don't have like the Redskins here. So I thought, well, why not? Let's go with the Rams. They seem to be cool, and the city was excited to have them back. So just like I became a pseudo Dodgers fan when I moved out here, because I enjoy the game of football and baseball, and being able to cheer for a team that's trying to become something is a lot of fun. Of course, the Dodgers, a lot of close calls, a lot of close misses to that World Series over the last few years, been incredibly frustrating. With the Rams, Jared Goff, I thought they had a real chance to beat those Patriots, and they came and just crapped the bed. So hopefully at some point they'll turn this thing around next year and maybe do a better job. But yes, I do enjoy the Rams, do enjoy going to see them. And I went to the SoFi Stadium and saw them in the process of developing what they're developing there. And of course, the announcement of the LA Bowl as well. That was a lot of fun. That video is going to drop probably next week, finally. So I'll put it on the in the sports side of things with that way. All right. I think that's all the Streamlabs that were available for me to answer. Yes. Awesome. And thank you, PC, for that. Any other super chats? I don't want to miss anybody. I want to make sure we get everybody. I don't want to have any issues. Did we cross 100 likes? Yes, we did. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so much. All right. Let's wrap this thing up. Love to all of you. It's Friday, right? So you've had a week. I hope you've done something or a few things in this week to kind of help you get closer to where you're trying to get to in your life, closer to the goals you want to accomplish in your world. It's important to take the steps, even if they're baby steps, even if they're mini steps or half steps or quarter steps towards where you want to be. Give yourself a little bit of credit. This is the Friday, this is a time to kind of like go into the weekend with a little bit of appreciation for what you did over the last 5 days. Maybe you made some mistakes, some missteps, maybe, things of that nature. Okay, so you learn from them and you move into the next phase. That's how it works. So hopefully you're taking the time today at some point to appreciate what you've done all week, or maybe sometime this weekend. Take a moment to go to kiss your own ass a little bit. There's nothing wrong with feeling positive about yourself or saying positive words to yourself, because Lord knows, I think all of us spend too much time saying negative words to ourselves in our inner voices and allow that to be what we say to ourselves. And we don't need to. There's a better way to approach the world. Say positive things to yourself. yourself. If you've done something good, it's okay to feel good. Be your best friend. How would you say this to your best friend? How would you compliment your best friend? Compliment yourself in the same way. That's the greatest piece of advice I got once from someone. I was watching some inspirational talk, and the guy said that he's like, if you need to learn how to talk to yourself as your best friend, that's not arrogance. That's actually love for yourself. And that's how you spread that within the world. And you might find yourself speaking to other people that way as well. And it might end up turning things around for you in a positive way. So that's what I'm trying to say to you. Hopefully you have that time this week, today or this weekend to do that. So sending positive love, sending great thoughts to you all. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Take care. Look for all the content on the Outlaw Nation. Going to drop some more stuff over the weekend. Enjoy that. And we'll see you Monday morning with another brand new episode of Mornings with the Outlaw. Take care. Until then.